Welcome to the Making Plays Convo with me, J1, head of hip hop for Pandora. This is the place you find out the plays your favorite artists, influencers, and moguls are making and how they do it. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss out on any exclusive content.
All right, my guy, man, I appreciate you joining me. This is the Making Plays Convo, and we just going to be talking about all the great plays that you've been making and how you made them throughout your career. But I always want to ask, how are you and your people doing during these times?
I appreciate you, first of all, asking that, man. It's been a blessing in disguise in so many ways. It was tough initially, and it is still tough. You know, the pandemic, having older family members, having to make sure they safe and protected, having a young child. It's a little scary at first, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not knowing, the unknowing, the uncertainty of what would happen. But like I said, it's been much of a blessing in disguise being able to like thrive within it musically, being able to get more in touch with my community and just the activism I've been doing lately. It's been very enlightening and very empowering, the moment that we inside right now.
That's real. That's real, man. Well, you've had a super busy year. Damn a pandemic. I mean, you put out, the Anticipation 1 and 2, that's been long awaited on the streaming platforms. Right. Yeah. The Love Songs playlist went crazy when you put it out after IG Live. Then you dropped one of my favorite songs of all of the year, Back Home, man. I've had that on repeat. Like,
That's
I like
love,
that.
my bro.
Nah. And I programmed the hell out of it on Pandora. So it's going crazy over here. And then most recently, and probably the most important, you dropped that 2020 Riots how many times. But obviously, it's been a wild year like you just talked about. What were you working on before everything kind of got crazy and started shutting down?
That's a great question, Jay. Actually, I had an album in the bag, man. I had an album in the can. We had photo shoots, video shoots scheduled. We had 2 video shoots scheduled and 2 photo shoots scheduled the Friday before the world went on lockdown. I didn't have an album release date yet, but Back Home was going to be the record, but the video was going to be a little different. It was going to be like, I won't say typical, but more so relationship based in the turmoils and the joys of a relationship where you back and forth trying to figure out love.
Yeah.
The Back Home video then turned into a thought process where I'm like, well, everybody's back home right now. A lot of people have had to go back home from college or from work or from wherever they had relocated to follow their dreams. And the Back Home video, if you haven't seen it, check it out on YouTube. It's just kind of like a time warp of a time capsule, if you will, of just people growing through whatever they're doing with their families in quarantine.
Right.
So that was probably a month and a half, 2-month process figuring out, should we even put this record out? If we can, how can it relate to the times? How can we not be insensitive to what people going through? And of course, the 2020 Riots came about as, it's just overwhelmingly heartbreaking what's been happening to our people since forever. But I think with COVID-19 having the world on pause for a second, it highlighted it in such a way that it hasn't been able to be highlighted.
Yeah.
Because you got people that are paused, or people that have been out of work, kids that have been out of school, kids that are going to be out of school, young adults that are out of school, out of work. You got people affected disproportionately in our communities that now have the chance to spend their time being activists and learning and putting their best foot forward for the community. Whereas though in regular times, you would have a job to go back to.
Right.
You would have school to go back to. You would have to pick kids up from school. Like, it's so many things that weren't, and as the world's getting back on track and getting back, like going back.
Yeah, right.
It's so many different layers of, I think, why the movement is so strong right now. But I think all in all, the pandemic was definitely a blessing in disguise in some ways.
It's crazy. You brought up the 2020 Riots how many times song, and it's a very powerful and passionate track. And I actually interviewed Troy Taylor like the other week. And he told the story, well, his side of the story, how the song came about. He said you called him like 4 o'clock in the morning, but obviously y'all got that type of relationship. And he just said like it was weighing heavily on your mind and that you really felt compelled to do something about what was going on.
Yeah,
What was happening in your? No, I was gonna say, what's your side of the story? What was happening in your mind back then?
man, like I said, we was just in the middle of like a real album process, like a real rollout. And one thing about this album and music in its entirety throughout my career, I've been doing this for a long time. It's very easy to get jaded and very easy to get complacent and be like, you know what I mean? Which is why I haven't put an album out in so long, because I felt I needed a break from the, once again, systematic pressures of just doing things because you got to do them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I ain't put an album out. I should put an album out. Oh, I need a hit record. I need a ballad. I need an album to sound like this. We'll do it. It's whatever. You know what I mean? It hasn't been like, ooh, I'm making an album. I can't wait to get in the studio. Ooh, I can't wait to people. It hasn't been that for me for a very long time. It's been very much, you know, not that I'm complacent or satisfied, because I feel as though no matter what I attain, I want more.
Right.
That's not for the sake of greed. That's for the sake of just human nature to progress. And for me, it's like even more so. Like once I get, like, even if I put a song out, I probably don't listen to it no more until I perform. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So
interesting.
For me, in that moment, having had the album pushback, having had that moment of clarity with COVID, just being like, well, I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do with the music. I know I'm not gonna be the guy to put out songs that is like, what are you talking about in the middle of this?
Right.
And then when George Floyd was murdered, and it brought so much attention to that movement, even myself, having had been active on the front years before and prior in my life, I had taken a break from that, because it is so draining and it is so hurtful, and it is, you feel like, man, like it's never gonna end. Like, you know what I mean? So I would communicate with the people every so often that are in the movement. I know activists, I know lawyers, I know people that are in the fight for our civil opportunities, our equality, and it's draining, man. To every day wake up and a Black man have been murdered by the police, or to every day wake up and it's somebody that's in jail that's not supposed to be, or every day wake up and somebody's died in jail. You know what I mean? So it's so many different layers of systemic oppression and racism. So for me, this was like the breaking point of my silence and my trying to move on with my life.
Right.
And being okay. Like, because in so many situations, you got people that's like, that don't really affect me. Like, I would never say that out loud, but in a lot of cases, it doesn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the fact that my son is a Black man, the fact that my younger cousins are Black, the fact that my mother, the fact that everybody else is not Trey Songz, and they don't have this face card to go into this room and people treat you differently than the rest of Black people because you're this Black person. So with that being said, and I know the power that holds, so I'm gonna use my voice.
Right.
You know, and the first step of that was by song. I had made a song before. I have a song called "Stand" on the soundtrack for the Nat Turner movie. And that song was hard to sing.
Yeah.
You know, hard to write, but how many times, like when I called Troy, like you said, it's like 4 a.m.
Yep. That's what he said.
Couldn't sleep, man.
Yeah.
But he was up.
Yeah.
And I like, bro, we got to do something. Like, I don't know what it is, what it sounds like, but the people need a voice for this. Like, and there's been so much music made to address unrest, civil unrest for Black communities, and but the ones that we know of and remember and sing so much are the ones from the 70s and 80s. And like, what the hell? Like, we still talking about this. Like, how many lives will it really take? How many times we gonna do this? Was my thought process. So I hit Troy, damn near like my stomach in knots. He sent me a whole bunch of tracks, and he sent me a song that somebody had written. I said, nah, none of that's really it. And he sent a whole bunch more tracks, and he was excited because he was feeling the same way.
Yeah.
And he sent the how many times 2020 Riots. Boom, 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 boom. It started off like that. I was laying in the bed, like, and I just listened to the track like over and over again. And the hook was already in my head. Like, so the next day I went to lay it down, and I started writing it, and I couldn't finish it. I cried, and it just hurt to sing the lyrics. And I went out to protest.
Yeah.
And just to get that energy, and the protest actually gave me hope. Because from the outside looking in, you don't really know what a protest is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right.
And the media will deter you from the real meaning of what it is. They will show you everything bad about it before they show you the positive things that are going on. So being in there, I had conversations with an older white woman who had been assaulted by police the first time in her life that day. First time in her life. She in her 50s. She's a doctor. And she's like, I don't, she was shocked. I'm like, yeah, this is because you out here standing for black people.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And a bell went off. She was like, wow, it's crazy. Like, so just understanding the different dynamics and being out there and everybody marching for the same cause and seeing that, oh, wow, like it's enough people, it's enough voices for us to change if we push forward, if we continue. So who am I to say that I've spent my years making a name for myself, feeding my family off my talent. And, you know, I have fans of all races and nations, but I'm black, you know what I mean? Black people make me who I am.
That's right.
You know, so to not stand up and use my voice for that, both artistically and just having the presence of mind to say, dog, this ain't right. And I need y'all to see that this ain't right. And I need y'all to know that if you're doing business with me, this is how I feel. And if you don't feel this way, we can't rock. And if I catch you doing some racist shit, I'm putting you on blast.
There it is, period, right there, man. You hit on a lot of key points. Like, you know, I wanted to actually ask you about you going out there and protesting, because I seen you do that. I wanted to salute you for that. And you're right. It's nothing like going out there. You'll see it on TV. They try to scare you with different images. I know when I went out there, it was just a different experience. And then when you see, you know, just as many white people out there screaming Black Lives Matter, it just hits different. It's different.
It changed you. And initially, like even from the TV, looking at from the couch, looking at the TV,
right?
You don't know how to feel. Like, it's like, damn, there's a lot of white people out there. Like, is that real? Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all really here for this? Like, what y'all so, like, going out there, like you said, and some people that don't understand the fact that those unaffected will have to speak for those affected will deter you from understanding and having a conversation. And like, because and sometimes I don't want to have a conversation because it hurt too much to continuously try to explain to somebody why this is racist or why, because some people in their walks of life have blinders up.
Yeah.
Like, I can't see it because I don't want to. Like, and all those people aren't racist.
That's right.
But subconsciously, they don't have to deal with it in their life. So if they don't have the heart or have the human morale to say, wow, this is really happening under my watch, I can't let this happen, then they're gonna let it happen and be unaffected. But what we have to understand as a people is, if we have white friends that do not understand, we gotta help them understand.
You gotta have those conversations.
If you got white friends that want to understand, you gotta help them understand. If you go out there and march, like you said, you're gonna see white people out there that don't understand.
That's right.
But they wanna help.
Yeah.
And I think this is a time where it's more prevalent and it's more of a fight with the people that aren't affected than there ever has been.
That's real.
And I respect that. We need allies.
No, we do.
We need allies.
Yep. It's going to take all of us to affect change, man.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad you're speaking on it. I'm really glad you're using your platform, the way you're using it to affect change, man, because it's going to take all of us. I wanted to talk about this story, man. You probably don't remember it, but it was 2008 in Atlanta, and I had just started DJing on radio. We were doing a live broadcast from a hood spot, right? And it was Bill Black's birthday, and he kept on saying, man, I got a surprise coming through. I got a surprise. I'm about to shut the whole club down. He was like, Bill, whatever. And then you showed up, right?
Big sexy Bill, man.
Big sexy, yeah. You got on stage, you performed, shout out Bill. And then we had to get the security guards to escort you out because it was about to be a riot. But I was like, you know, I mean, I knew who you were, but you gave me a whole different level of respect, because I said, this R&B dude came out to the hood and didn't even care. You know what I'm saying? It didn't want to leave. But but you know, you have a record, like you were one of the first people to really mess with the trap artists and sing the hooks on for like Gucci Man and Jeezy and Big Country Kane, and the list goes on. And it was a brilliant strategy. How did it come to be about? Because like before that, you know, there was always rapper and R&B collaborations, but nobody was really messing with the trap guys like that until you started really doing it.
Right. It just having been from Virginia, man, and Petersburg, Virginia is the blackest city in Virginia. With Atlanta being the mega version of Petersburg to me. Like it felt like home so much. And I was accepted with open arms from all the guys that's real gangsters, all the guys that's really in the street, all the guys that had great reputations musically as well. Mm-hmm. Like whether you're a street nigga, whether you're a rap nigga, like I was cool with you, you know, because I come from that. You know what I mean? Like, and one thing I encourage us as a people to do too is we got to stop judging people by what they do, especially black men and women. Like, just because you do this don't mean you can't do this.
That's
just just because you're a program director don't mean you can't go goddamn put your own executive produce album if you want to. Like, we put these parameters around people. You like, oh, he's saying R&B. He ain't supposed to be in here with Gucci. He ain't supposed to be in here with and Jeezy. But really, like, Jeezy, one of my best friends, like now to this day. You know what I mean? Men are men and humans are humans. What a talent is, don't differentiate what your next talent can be or what it is that you're good at. I was in love with rap before I was in love with singing. Mm-hmm. So once I figured out that I could sing and started honing in on that, I realized that, like, man, I want to help rappers with this, like rap singing. Like, I want, like, that. You already know that Country Kane Jones was like an anthem in the A. Like,
anthem, still go crazy.
Put that joint on right now.
Yeah, the baddest. Come on, man. Like, beat it up.
Yeah, bro. No, but I was in
all the classics.
I was in Crucial. I was on the West Side. I was on Bankhead Highway. Like, for real, I'm from Petersburg, Virginia, bro. Like, I ain't, like, that's the ghetto. You know?
But no, it was a brilliant, like, format, and it really just birthed something. I feel like because of what you did, you see a lot of trap rappers kind of singing on their own songs now. So, you know what I mean? I just wanted to bring that up. But real quickly, man, I know you gotta get on to the next interview, man. When I was talking with Troy last week, I asked him his 3 top artists to work with. And he said Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, and you. And he said the reason he likes working with you so much is because of your work ethic. He can ask you to do a song 10 times and you would do it without question, even now. Yeah. Why is it still important to be coachable, you know, and you've been doing it for over 15 years now?
Man, if you think about the best people at their professions, whether it be athletes, whether it be rappers, whether it be moguls, they all had somebody they went to. Whether you know who that person is that they went to get their instruction from, or to somebody that they always listen to, whether you know that person is really not important. But when you get to the point where nobody can tell you what's right, wrong, what's better, what's bad, constructive criticism, especially from people who've given it to you your whole life.
Right.
You got to realize, like, dog, he not telling me nothing just because he telling me something, just because he want to have authority and be like, nah, you need to do that over. No, I really need to do it over if he telling me I need to do it over. You know, like, if Phil Jackson tell Mike, yo, pass the ball, because Steve Kerr opened in the corner, pass the ball to Steve Kerr, he might hit the shot. You know what I'm saying? It's all about, for me, remaining humble, knowing who I am, but remaining humble and always having a clear head as to what's going on. Like, I don't want nobody around me that's going to just allow me to do whatever I want to do. Not to say that somebody's in control of me, but if I'm stepping out of pocket, it's not okay just because I'm me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't want you around me if you okay with that because I'm me. If you moving out of fear for what I'm going to think of your criticism of me, then we're not going to make a good team.
That's real. That's real, my brother. Well, listen, man, I've really enjoyed this conversation. I actually got a surprise for you real quick, man. It's right in the corner. Hold on. I'm going to go get it real quick. Actually, my friend is gonna go get it. She's gonna go get it right now. She's actually a huge fan of yours, man.
Trustworthy
But
assistant.
but obviously you've been running up the streams for years, and I'm over at Pandora now, so we look at all the statistics, and you are one of, like, I want to say 600 artists across all genres to have over 1 billion streams. You actually got
And shout out to Pandora too. A lot of people don't actually give credit where it's due, but before these streaming services were streaming music, you could get your free music at Pandora. They was putting together playlists for you.
Yep.
They was telling you which songs should go after which song. So the model was laid down by Pandora. As I've been to the meetings and way before streaming took the course that it took in this business. So
Yeah.
with that being said, shout out to all the powers that be at Pandora who supported me forever. And
absolutely.
and like they just laid the business mold down for what the future of music was without probably even knowing.
Absolutely, bro. I appreciate you saying that, man. Like I said, you got over 8 billion streams on Pandora, so we can't give this to you right now because we're in the midst of a pandemic. But once things open up, though, you know what I'm saying, we gotta hook you up with this billionaires plaque right here on behalf of Pandora, since you're a Pandora billionaire. Congratulations, my brother Trey Songz.
Good looking, JT. Thank y'all at Pandora too.
No doubt, man. Once things open up, you get back to Atlanta, come through. We got an Atlanta office down here, man. It's beautiful because it's full of black and brown people. And you know, with a lot of tech companies, you don't really see a lot of us when you walk into these.
You don't see representation in a lot of those companies and a lot of label heads, label executives, Pandora executives, iTunes executives. We need more of us everywhere. Because we are the culture, we are the creativity, we are the base for these millions and billions that are being made. So we need to make more decisions about the music and the companies.
Man, appreciate you saying that, my brother. Stay safe. It's good reconnecting with you, man. Keep doing your thing and keep fighting, brother.
When it comes time, we're going to link up.
We got to, man. It's been too long.
Already.
All right, my man. Be easy.
All right, friend in the back.
I ain't gonna let you steal your girl.
Oh.